Good morning, folks. It's 7:30 a.m. on the 8th month, first day 2025. Double check these settings. Yes, they are low, and they are not anymore. Hello, Canada. What I'm looking here is it says is a very big moment of truth for a storm. It's going to probably about as close to the shore as it's going to get, as far as EMF's going to let it go, as far as I think. But the flows that are going to come in, like where these little like dots from out to sea here on these bands out here between the 1016, 1018 isobar line, there pressure, it's going to be some very, very fierce winds. And it's going to really drive a lot of shore water up towards the shore. Okay, so tide times is going to be important. So right here is about lunchtime. Probably about New South Wales. That would put you right at about 10 o'clock in the morning on Sunday. And at this moment here, your surf is going to be absolutely raging along that area, like centering pretty much, I think, around Taree, as where most of the main action is about to occur in this area. And we've had a lot of EMF deployed in the last few days to set the corridors up, like those skies that they call the mackerel sky that appeared over Brisbane area in this area here. It really is going to cause the heated flow line that's made this difficult for this formation of this low to go for much further north than here. And the impact of the winds is all to the south of it. So I'm going to run through now what's to be expected and in this system. And so I'm going to run through that now. I'm not going to go too far back on the zooms because this is the main course of action. And of course, the flow of this storm is going to be forcing you'll see some storms form over Queensland itself proper, but nothing of any major significance that I was concerned about. But this is going to be a wicked event. You don't want to be out on the roads and get caught out in this overnight tonight and through the day tomorrow and this weekend for that matter. You just don't be there. If you're a surfer and you're a professional, enjoy yourself. If not, don't go out there and do something stupid like get yourself killed. Kind of a lieutenant, Dan, and change your socks. Keep your feet dry. Kind of a thing. Ooh, I just dropped something. I heard that was annoyance. So, right, are we rolling? Yes, we are rolling. Who's got the shark up there? How you doing? Unique one over in Hawaii. If Michael Jackson had a place, Oprah Winfrey opened up the gates. Yeah. This thing's going to steam pretty much straight over towards Fiji. The big band of this moisture here. I don't see how you're not getting a great big old batch coming towards you in probably at about the 6th or the 7th. But my concern is now. And I'm going to pretty much keep this show to just now. Yeah, New Zealand. So if you're getting barred, yeah, see the wet's coming for you here. But that's you're so far away from me worried about any showers coming to you, New Zealand. It's not anything huge. Today is for this area here. So next thing I want to show you is the winds. That's going to be important, and the temperature is going to be driving it. So some pockets of cold air I'm expecting through this area here that I call the trough. It's a feature of land that runs out to the western sides of your beautiful mountain ranges. Whether you're saying it's the Blue Mountains, the Alps, the Gondwana rainforest. It's going to be some cold pockets. Hot rushes towards cold. And that's going to help fuel a lot of the travel of the air out here inland for this low itself to be actually properly form off the coast. It'll be in the middle of the afternoon on Saturday. Is when it right over the top of Cuffs. And this is temperature differences here. See pockets of cold. Let me pop that there. It'll tell you how cold. 6 degrees. Can have some nights that are coming up about 2 degrees overnight temperatures and stuff. Then you add the wind chill to it. It's going to be quite cold. Mighty nipply. Get your snow bunny outfits out. You're going to need them. Yes, get a nice fire going. You'll be eating Doritos and Dorigo and just or go down to the coast and to participate in what's probably going to be, oh my God, a surfing event. It's going to be nothing like Alfie, but you're not in the middle of a cyclone, but you're in a very high gale force winds I am expecting during this event. Absolutely, some of the surf off cuffs and up towards Byron in Goldie and Surfer's Paradise going to be over 7 meters with swells over 3 on top of that. Bondi, I'm expecting about 4 meter waves heights. This is winds, and this is going to be a factor, right? But the perfect conditions driving the waves ashore. Absolute perfect conditions. I think this is Bondi, isn't it? Oh, he's good. He's good, folks. Yeah, but the surface, I have to report where the fun's going to happen. Right? It is a nice thing to know about. You watch this. Look at these winds up coast here. This is no joking matter, the winds you're going to have face you here, though. And this is why I say this is gale force. At no point am I picking up winds that are 100 and was 116. Is what your eyes cause the pussy clone. I mean a cyclone. Not the rest of the world doesn't call that. We go by mile an hour, and it says 74 miles an hour. Not 73 would be a hurricane. But this is a very high force gale that you're going to experience along the coastline. With the gusts inland are going to be rather high, 80. 75 kilometer an hour gusts had to be expected along this corridor that I told you about the other day. It's like the only outlet for the trough where they've trapped all the EMF is through here. It's a very, very big gust to be expected as you went past the mountain areas. Like if you're taking this road from here through here, you might want to reconsider your route or chilling somewhere for a day or so and letting that pass. And this is coming through the daytime hours of Sunday. So we'll get great films of you guys on camera rolling down hills. So at any time, pockets of these very high winds is going to appear in this area around Tamworth through here, this trough area here. And it's going to be cold air. Yeah, it's going to be freezing you in the chesticles. Or it's going to get nipply, whichever you want to cause. You see that right there? These are gusts. So that wind gust there is over what I would call a cyclone strength, and that's just a gust, not a sustained wind. A sustained wind at that point is just about enough for them to say this is a named cyclone, right? If it at that moment, but it's offshore, and once it's offshore, it's out of international waters. You're back to the Saffir-Simpson scale. Yeah, back to the unpussied scale. Unless it goes over Tonga, then the number drops again. Yeah, your waves now. This is also very important. And I'll show you some of the abomination of chemistry and some other things. I might even go over some of the pictures. Have people been kind enough to post one picture? I'm at 5,000 people. I'm only let friends can comment. Friends of friends turns out to be me trying to fix your friend who's stupid and doesn't want to concede that geoengineering is real, even with scientific documentation, done by PhD people. And I can't fix that kind of stupid. So which one do I want to show you next? Is this one. This is for all those who enjoy fun. Right? It is one of those moments that you'll remember along these beachy, covey areas. Good surfing there. All this whole coastline here is going to, wherever type wave you enjoy the most. A little bit weaker there. Big swells, man. Big swells. And you add that on top, right? As we go through, yours was here. Right exactly. I had it calculated. I did a calculation of when was the best moment to get your ass down here. Yeah, this is going to be epic. And drive your ass up the coast and get up the coast as fast as you can. jet plane. It'd fly up. Or while you rest, somebody else drive you up there. Because it's absolutely going to be one of these times here. If I only can pick one destination to go on the weekend, I'd pick this destination here. I'd go sit on the hills over here. I'd go right fucking here. Yeah, tweets. I'd sit on the hills up here. Go right up here. My gosh, that's going to be epic. Coolangatta is going to be the place to be. If you get out here, oof, 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 oof. Yeah, Kara, he's definitely, you see the direction the wind's going and everything, it's going to be perfect. And this is big. This is nothing. Watch what's coming. Yeah, this is one of these ones I can't wait to see. See what you guys can do with these, you ladies, as well. See what you can do. I was seeing some swells are going to be over it coming in at 7 as we moved in on this storm. And it's going to be lasting. So if you bust your board the first day, you're fucked. I have a better graphic of it. It was this one. That was your exact time in Sydney. So that'll put you Monday, right at about 9 o'clock in the morning, with those swells there. Okay? Monday. That's where your big moment is there. So we're going to go to Monday, and it's going to say 00 my time. What about there? This is your biggest swells for that area there. They keep changing the forecast, and I always go with what I already had done homework-wise this morning. And if I looked up towards up the coast, I was seeing these here like this, where I was seeing over just south of Lismore, this area down here, Byron, is getting 6 and 7 meter waves. This was the waves, not the swells, and the swells were going 3 meters on top of that. So you're looking at 10 meters of waves out there to be had. And this is Monday, a day after. This is at Monday at 2. And so 3 hours after Sydney hits, that hits. You got some choices to make. What kind of wave do you want to ride? Just do it safely. Remember, them professionals, they got teams of people, jet ski people to rescue their asses when they get in trouble. All you got is your ass, and don't be rude to other surfers out there. The way things are done, and if you don't know how things are done, sit there and watch for a while. And maybe wait to get in the paddling pool. Yeah, get in the paddling pool. You'll be hurting anybody with your flying boards. This is going to be one of them ones. I can't wait to see what you guys are going to do with this. Right, so I've showed you pretty much how this is going to play out, haven't I? No. So let's just do the zoom back now. I've done you the local ins. When the storm whips around, it's really going to put quite some rains are going to go inland there. Taree, Newcastle, all back through that area I had pretty much mapped out before, that the EMF and all the cameras really just absolutely covered y'all thick with all the storm seasons. That's going to be a lightning line. How come they're not showing lightning? Yeah, I'm expecting funnel cloudy things to be seen during this event. Yes, what in tarnation is that funneling out there? Yep, it's going to get cold and on your chesticles, so you have to keep warm. You put a dry wetsuit on, you get it wet. It's going to get wet. Stormy weather, the EMF won't let it go anywhere. It's just hanging around. Boy, it's going to have some wicked coastal erosion. Boy, are they going to come out saying, you need a flood barrier. We need to put walls up so the ocean can breathe sand properly. Yeah, Radelaide. Bit of wetness coming your way on the overnight hours through early Tuesday morning. Yeah, yes, it is. I don't see how it's not going to send a little bit of snow up in the mountains south of Canberra. And then, yes, New Zealand. I'll pop you through here. This is just going to be a quick wetting. Nothing I'm expecting to be huge, right? Just something to just water the flower bed. And maybe they'll act like it's worse and maybe send a warning out telling you somebody's going to fart or something. Of course, a tsunami, I don't know. Yeah, Bessie's jumping in the pool. Tsunami warning. That's the dog's name. Whew, well, it's going to be windy, though. I'll tell you that. Anybody who farts in Sydney, it's going to take about 8 hours for it to get to Plymouth and Wellington. You see what that breeze is? Yeah, so plan your curry accordingly. Right, I want to have a look at some of the rain totals you can be expecting over about the next, I'll give you about 56 hours, something like that. That should be sufficient. Again, like I said, that's not correct. There we go. It's about right. Yeah, it's going to get wet, folks. It's going to get wet. You're looking at about close to 20 centimeters, like I said about 10 days ago, hitting in this area over here in this trough. Newcastle getting a brunt of EMS. Boy, they get fried, getting fried. And the weather machine over there that they say is not real is quite real. I don't know if I can get it to load. Ever seen it? You ever seen it? Let's see if we can do this. I don't know if it's going to pause the video while this loads or not. And we do not want to navigate it. We can close the tip at startup, please. I've got like one pin on my map because, like I said, I lost everything when I had to reboot the other day so we could continue watching these shows. Without you viewers, donations, and voluntarily, I can't continue to do this. Bills keep coming out. Ooh, that's one of the Tesla death ray. That is not a harp. That is a big fryer. It is right there in Newcastle. It's designed to shoot missiles out of the sky by causing the atmosphere to get really, really hot. That's a more pleasant picture today. So you big pocket of wet with a separation zone right here of Seal Rocks. This very much resembles the shoreline of North Carolina and it reacts the same way. So this one here just above Nelson Bay reminds me a lot of Pimlico Sound and places like that. And it reacts the same way to weather. It's a place I'm very familiar with. Why does I nail that in forecast over there so often? The dynamics are in reverse because of the Coriolis effect. Yep. But other than that, it's the only huge spot we're seeing in all Australia, which is going to increase your fire risk out here when I don't see no rains coming. Because there's still lots of chem. Lots of chem means you got a lot of fire accelerant settling on the ground. Nanometals. And it burns across the ground almost like a liquid would. Looks like we got a secondary event showing up here. It'll be bearing wanderings about. Yeah, the never-ending story for the land of hope and glory. The lucky country getting cunted. What a fucking shame. Whammo. And that's your tens. Not looking good, not looking good as the wetness is settled in and really, really just continuously sluice the land, and they can send planes over to see where the gold nuggets are laying on the ground. Muswell Brook. Did you spell mussels wrong? You don't spell it well, Muswell Brook. Or you say the Muswell Brook and the dong gong gong and a bing bang bong and a markwell. Yeah, you mark your underwear well, you got a bung. Yeah, a bung. You ain't gonna be bunged up in bung wahi, that's for sure. Wahi! Michael Jackson by a house over. Oh no, it's wag bung a wall. It's a bung wall. Is there a hole over there? Come on, you know I had to ask. See, even the men in high castles and new castles are probably saying, uh-oh, I better have an umbrella. And that's your tense. It's a very, very wet time coming. Very, very wet time. But let's just concern ourselves with now, right? Not this that's later. It's getting wetter, chem growing stronger. So let's look at some of the combinations and where they're going to park the low. Definitely, again, we got that circle showing out here. Yesterday it was over on just a little bit to the east of it over here. See that pop? So they definitely heated the area here for the pin that storm. There's no way it can head very much in that direction. Beam has shot down the coast here. You see that right here? That pin line from here to here. That's quite wide. Maybe about 50 miles wide at least. That blown out area here in a wedge like this, pointing right at a known radar station. Yeah, you guys get weather manipulation going on. Let's see about the chem here feeding it. Hi, Adelaide. How you feel today? Did you sneeze bunch? I bet you did. Chemtrail, chemtrail, chem bomb over El Wample. And well, there's a bunch of shit over Sherlock. Yep, we got no shit Sherlock over shit. Look at this big scalar square of energy here. And I'm going to show you some scalar energies. A great shot of how they've got this entire mass of this storm held in a scalar square. All the way out here. Watch this moving. See the square tap here and here? Watch. I'll zoom in on it. There's a radar right where I'm pointing. See how that circle stays in place there while the clouds go past? What station is that? It's over there near Cuddlingus. That'll be just north of Brewarina. There's actually a big wedge of plasma pointed out. It's right out here. That's where the Brewarina radar is. What a bunch of wieners in Brewarina. I'll put the cities on for a second and do a quick map. Hello, Mr. Squiggles. Welcome to the machine. It's all right. The sky looks like a latrine. First thing I see is the wedge. Okay, you got a wedgie of energy here. Beam, beam, beam. Pulse. So we could just shoot a beam out that's pulsing. Boop, 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 boop. And its amplitude at a single spot. And it'll cause the atmosphere, if that is the atmosphere, to then dimple. And then that dimple oscillates up and down like pebbles in a pond and causes that gravity wave look. Yes. If you did it wide enough, you'll create the mackerel sky. Again, you got another one right over here near Inverell. And it's very easy for me to then keep that in my head, what the radars are doing. When I just look at the live imagery, I know that that corridor is shut right through there. And I'll keep that in my head. Now, I noticed something here with a bunch of pops. Circle there, 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 there. But there's a haze line here. So I know, again, we've got another radar run. And this is the only way I could do it sometimes. If they don't want to show me the radar, I'll just have to see what it does to the clouds. And when all the lines happen to intersect over a radar station where 1 + 1 starts to equal 2, either that or your lines start to add up. Which way would you like to do it? Haze there and there. It's over off screen up here. I see you. What's Brizzy doing? Brizzy's busy. It's got stars like that. Yep. Boom, Inverell. Big pulse there, and it being that direction. So the flow in is going to go like that. Grafton's on a square. Yep, its station's right about there. It went that way, here. One shut down like that. Yeah, you're going to hide these beams from me. This is Brisbane here. Brisbane's doing this. And this Stapleton did this. Would you say the door's shut there for flow? All flow has to come in here to carve. So why are you getting the heavier totals? Why are you getting the heavier serve? Why are you getting the heavier range? Because the radars have shut the fucking door. They shut the door. No, that's right. They might as well turn the radars back on. They simulated a mountain range out here. with big beam off the coast that'll show on Mimic. But when I show you Mimic, I want to show you again. A Russian device has fired towards Alaska, and Alaska has fired back. And I'm watching the entire, that part of the North Pole is shut to flow, which is going to cause stuff to come down over the Canadian Rockies into the Great Plains of the United States. Is going to trigger a massive tornado outbreak. So it's a weather warfare move I see going on today for them. Take about 4 days for all that to start really getting in place down there. But within about 3 days, the initial cold air will be down there. So this is bad, very, very bad for USA weather warfare. So if we've attacked them with an earthquake and they've just done the same back at the USA with tornadoes, when's it going to end? When are you going to realize that the new war is going to be fought with these invisible weapons of energy that you funded? Look at a square form to this here. I'm at the corner of it. I don't need to design that one out, do I? And you could see this is where the heavier flows are going to come initially through here. And this is where you have storms today that actually are showing up on radar. Yep. It is just south of Kiscack and Newcastle. That whole line has been directed in, and they did not quite hide this beam here. You see this line here pointing right here? That's a beam, and you're going to see another one here and another one that goes along here during this 1 hour feed here that I've got. So even them hiding it didn't go very well. See the wedge there? There's more than one station here that's on, because I see more than one epicenter. So even they've caused more of the flow to go towards the north in the entrance. Yeah. And that's very, very wrong for them to do to you, Wyong. And why did they sound like you were going to sell it to China in advance with a name like that? Not good, not good at all. This is like the latest radar imagery that I have. I just did from 7 minutes ago. I could do something refreshing to it. Here the beam is very prominently on. Weather manipulation is real. It's going on in front of your eyes. Weather manipulation is real. Breathe deeply. How do you feel? How do you feel? Clean air they do steal. With every carbon bomb, nature squeals. My God, look at that. Waveforms going over the top of this. That's plasma nucleation of the chemical catalysts that are in the sky, of the preformed particles. They've suggested titanium oxide. I never see silver iodide mentioned like the Cloud Seeding Act proposed. Never see that listed in the documents I show. Which I'm not going to do today. Mighty square there, huh? Are we going to confront this squarely? Or are you going to... Come on. Come on. Get out of here. This normal, get out of here. Come on, make me some excuse. It's forming in the troughs and the peaks. We had a wave of energy. You see that there? Peaks and troughs of a sine wave. Hey, I even got a blackboard here. How handy. Isn't that handy? Well, let's take advantage of that. Let's see. Should we school them today? What color is our pen going to be? If we use the white chalk. You got waveforms coming from a radar tower, right? It's out from them. You got the radar there with the golf ball on it, right? And it's energizing. Okay, that wave is doing a cross like this, up and down, centered like that. Take that up. Now, up in the top part, it's going to form clouds. At the bottom, you'll have a downdraft of wind. You'll have a lift. You have a cloud form. You'll have a deck where the waveform is bouncing off another viscous layer. Could even be another waveform up there, which very often happens. Now, that'll be the tops here of the waveform itself. Now, these waves are actually bouncing up and down all the way in place. They're not moving along. What moves them along is amplitude and wattage of this could push that in a pulse. But if they're standing in place, it's a standing wave. So the molecules are jumping up and down in place. As one molecule jumps up, it's going to go up. The molecule next to it's going to pull with it. And as it goes down, it'll pull down with it. But it's only standing in place. So when these waveforms go past, it looks like the cloud ain't moving. It's just staying there. Okay, I'll get back to that. So as we see some of these waveform ones like this down low here, right? Where those ones there and there just stay in place. That's what's happening. And when you see them crush in different directions, like a curve, an arc from one way and an arc from another, you know that it's being sent from different stations, and it's going to be pinning flows in different directions. It's just a basic geoengineering move. And I see it far too often. New Zealand, not a great example over you today. But we saw a great example of it yesterday in your clouds. That many people had pictures of. They call it a mackerel sky. I say it's getting fried in the sky before your eyes. It's a fried mackerel, smell like kipper excuse to me. Yep. And so this is today's image. And in the whole cloud deck itself, on the top of that stuff that's moving, you can see this, what's known as an interference pattern, and how it has caused cloud formation to be affected in its peaks and troughs of its waveform itself. And much affecting geoengineering going on there. And you always can see when the beams interact with these cloud decks. Gimpy looked a bit quiet. This is the edge of that front line. They're fronting you all right. And on the low deck, again, you see the interference pattern type cloud down here. Bzz, 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 bzz. The chem-bombed vag. Mount Marsh. Yes. What a chem-bomination. This is absolutely disgusting. With a big K in the sky over the top of you. The big square form here. Here. Using scalar energy to create a heated flow boundary to pin the storm to the south initially so it can fold and begin to form out at sea. That haze there shows another scalar square out here has been deployed. See it here? Where there was less clouds. This is just geoengineering. It's just geoengineering. Happens every day. There's no safe place in the entire planet. And here's our last family picture. Did you go outside? Did you smile? It was the 31st of July. It was the last day of a month. Gee. And yet another big smoke cloud of a burning forest of the North Battleground area. That's what it said on the map. We got another forming hurricane out here. Yeah, with a big square, Mr. Stay Puft Marshmallow. Chem bomb everywhere. There is no place safe. Pulse wave right here, pulsing. See it? Like an eyebrow beam is what I often call these. They have a specific effect. A big trapezoid out here. Be engineered. Look, it's the eye of a hurricane. It's a chemicane. Yeah, this is how I see it. I didn't even look at what's going on in the tropics today to see if we got any hurricanes going on in the world. But we have a tropical storm here and a trip. Let's see if they're manipulating this one here. Let's have a quick peek at Crusoe here. Let's look at the mimic and see what in the fuck have they done to the center. Oh yeah, they're doing the whip move. Whip, 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 whip. Should I make noises? Bzzz. Oh, it's going to get faster now. There's a weather manipulation. There'll be the Hurricane Hunter plane's radar is actually beaming the storm. Yep. Whipping that one up. That's weather modification. That's an invest there. Nothing big near you guys. That's good to see. It's good to see because the last family picture didn't look too nice. Didn't look too nice at all. And again, I didn't see any place that was devoid of geoengineering. And this is another big storm. That was this one that we just saw the weather manipulation moves in, and that's the eye of it there. It doesn't look very particularly devoid of cloud because you could see the haze of the square. I'm going to outline like that. Squares turning squares turning squares. There's some seasonings here. Look at all the chem to feed the feeder bands of the storm over international waters now. And here's where the big beam went up over the poles. And Russia has fired back. I'll show it to you. Right, hope you can see this. You see that beam right there? That came from here. Now you're going to see Gankona, Alaska is going to fire one right over the top of it. See it? Right there. USA is fired. They're firing stuff at each other. See? This is going forward. So USA is 2 shots on top of that one. Russia's fires. Wham, wham. Remember the other day? Look at this. The whole space fence is firing. Either they're doing a huge weather manipulation move, because I saw this one hit too. I was watching. Give it while it jumps a minute. Bzz. It's a fair-sized event. They've shut the pole down here, so all this flow here has to march in like this. If it's a weather, and then it gets caught in this and comes through here, could be another attack on the Oklahoma and Texas panhandle coming up. And that's going to cause more seismicity in here. Who knows, it could even be Anchorage this time. Will they finally pop Mountain McKinley's pimple? Who knows, that'll release a lot of gold. You guys had a really big beam come down your coast, see it right there, which is going to quake it up there. Bzz, 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 bzz. Boy, is you getting fried, Strayer style. And the whole world looks like a great big old just crap stain. Look at all the geoengineering out in the ocean here with these ship trails. Yeah, that's just south of where all that EMF, where this is where the earthquake happened. This can naturally occur. If the wind is in just the right direction on the ocean over these islands, this can happen naturally. It absolutely can. And in this case, it did. Because I checked. Okay, so look for natural first. Learn how natural happens, and then you might understand how man-made is being done. See how the effect this has on cloud formation and the eddies, that naturally will happen on that island. This is very seismically active, but this is geoengineering. This is marine cloud brightening. Whether they did that with sound and rockets or ships themselves, I can't determine the path from here to here and how long it took. If it's faster than a ship can go, then you know it was done a different method. Would you say that would be logical there, Mr. Spock? Spock that shit. Everybody asking Grok questions. Learn how to look stuff up, or you're only going to get what Grok wants you to grok. Grok in that? With Glockenspiel. Something's going on here. Blow the plasma out in the clouds, and it's pulsing from this one spot. So there's some geoengineering going on right from here. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. Buzz, 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 buzz. Yeah, there's a ship here. Could be an SBX. Could be an Antarctic research vessel. Could be something you funded. Could be something in private hands. Until we can really get a grip on saying no to reflecting sunlight out into space, check our ego and quit thinking about the Earth's albedo, maybe then we will have clear blue skies. Maybe then the whales won't be beaching on shore because of such terrible disruption of their navigation senses through infrasonic undulations and infrasound that goes through water, like here, these waveforms. We have to take responsibility for what all humans are doing, regardless of if we did it ourselves. You know, in a way, it's up to us to pick all the trash up we see blowing around, whether we did it or not. And start motivating the litter bugs. And right now, there's a big litter bugs in our sky, and it's bugging me. They're hoeing our planet over Ivanhoe, and I say no more, no more. A Midas system's whore. And if you dislike that word more than what I'm talking about, then, well, I think you're a big part of the problem. Your cognitive dissonance is done enough. I'm just trying to calculate something because I was noticing a big square over New Zealand here in the plasmoid. See it right here? And that's today. I bet your ears are ringing. Oh, it's the steps. See how many squares they got here? That's the step move. That'll channel air and wind. Yep. Oh, and there's the rest of the square here. You see the corner of it? Yeah, that's geoengineering right in front of your eyes. That's Gisborne radar station. There's a radar here. Bzz, getting fried, Kiwi style, that one. What are you going to do about that? Bad boy. I'm not trying to mark any marks. All I know is this is enough. This my knew have had a bad over there. Bad. This is all we get, man. You only get one shot at this. All people talk about live your best lifetime. What if this is all you get? What if this is your only existence and this is all you're ever going to have to do with your life? And that they're going to ever write about you in the annals of history, that in the light body halls. What are they going to say about you? What are you going to say about yourself? What are you going to do? Because our oppressors have come for you. From Shanghai to the middle of this ocean, to the farthest reaches of the map itself. I have seen not one spot I could say, I could rest here. Here is no geoengineering. I will not see a chem bomb here, but I have a feeling if I looked up down there, I would see there was toxic air over here, and I would know I was not free. And that George Floyd ain't the only one that can't breathe. Mother Earth can't breathe because some people over at a place over here in New York think it's a good idea to block the sun. That's right. This is where the United Nations is, where they have united as a bunch of gold bricks, and even off of their coast, they're breathing it too. Well, they've got access to health care we can't afford. We waiting in line for places, and they're funding the technology of the future and keeping it in their basements. If they can't put a meter on it or finish selling what they got on the shelves, they ain't going to release it. No more, no more. Shall we allow such attitudes to continue to propagate in the minds of others and out of the mouths of people? You respect a billionaire for any more than showing you how to make $1 billion? Because I don't respect their health opinion. They don't respect mine. It's fair. You know what? An apple a day kept the doctor away, and a needle a day is not bad as the spray. Look at this. They sprayed you like a fucking bug. What you gonna do about it? Oh, Frankenstein flathead looking thing here. What are you gonna do, Toowoomba? What are you gonna do? You got chem bombed, you got sprayed, and it's leading to some stormy days, and there's some terrible totals coming your way. Rain accumulations for the area as follows on the 10s. Ouch. Just say, ouch. Whammo. Geostorms coming your way. Big love, stay safe, peace. Short skies. It's shitty out here too, bastards. Cunt.